Hi everyone, this is Anna, and today I'm going to talk to you about how I learned Spanish in approximately 2 months. So I always had this dream that I wanted to speak another language fluently. So I already actually speak English obviously and Japanese because my mother's Japanese, but I also wanted to learn another one, or a few more actually. And I said, oh well, I really need to get myself into gear and actually do it if I really want to. Before finishing uni, I had traveled around South America and I really loved it, and I had been exposed a little bit to the Spanish, and so I said, yeah, I really want to learn it. So after finishing uni in 2012, mid-2012, I luckily had 6 months off before I started my full-time job in Australia, and so I decided, yep, this was definitely the opportunity. So I said, okay, let's start off by studying for 2 months, and then if I need to, I'll stay a little bit longer. And so I thought, yep, I'll go to a Latin American country. And because I traveled South America already, I wanted to go to a Central American country because I also wanted to do surfing. I wanted to surf every day and get good at that as well. And so I just asked a couple of friends that had already visited Central America, and I asked them which country did they recommend for me in terms of learning Spanish. So I wanted a Spanish that was easier to learn, not one where they spoke really fast and with a really strong accent. I kind of wanted a neutral Spanish, and then also where the people were friendly and easy to make friends with, and also on the cheap side. And both my friends in Melbourne, they both immediately said Nicaragua. And so I said, yep, okay, Nicaragua it is. And then I asked my friend who was a surfer who had been to Nicaragua, and he recommended me this beach, which was Playa Grande, and then he recommended me like the town that was nearby, which is San Juan del Sur. So I looked up some Spanish schools there, and I found various Spanish schools, and because I didn't really know whether it was real or dodgy or not, so I sent off emails and had conversations back and forth. I was just asking stupid questions, but I just wanted to find out whether they were legit or not. And so I wrote to them and I got replies and everything, and so I decided to go with them. Basically what it included was, it was so ridiculously cheap. It was $200 US, so this is back in 2012. $200 US for 1 week, and that included tuition, so it was 4 hours of class, one-on-one private classes from Monday to Friday, so 4 hours of that, and then in the afternoon there would be an activity organized by the school. And mainly that was surfing. Like there could be cooking classes and dancing classes, but I really wanted surfing, so I definitely asked them if I could do surfing pretty much every day. And that included homestay with a local family, and it included 3 meals as well, breakfast, lunch, dinner, and I had my own bathroom, I had my own bedroom, and what else did it include? Yeah, I think, and then all the books as well the school gave us. So it was a pretty good deal for $200 a week. That was ridiculously cheap. And so basically, I was just so motivated that as soon as I got there, I was friendly with, I tried to be as friendly as I could with everyone because I wanted to make friends as well, because I went on my own, and it was kind of the first time that I had left Australia on my own without really knowing what was going to happen, because I'd been on exchange twice before, once to Japan and once to Italy, but Japan I'd been to many times before, and Italy also, it was kind of like an organized uni thing, so I wasn't really worried about that. And then my travel to South America, I ended up traveling on my own for the last bit, but going over there I went with my friends. So this was the first time I was going to somewhere where I had no idea. It was organized but by me, and I had no idea, and I was so nervous. But honestly, it turned out to be the best 2 months of my life. And I still say that now, 5 years later, because it was for me, yeah, it was a holiday, and I was studying, but oh my God, I grew so much in that time, and I was determined to learn Spanish. Basically, I was really lucky, and I pretty much hit the jackpot with everything. The school was amazing. So the school, San Juan del Sur, it is a pretty touristy town, but like that's the main part of town. It's a tiny town. You can just kind of walk, in town, everywhere in town. And so the main part of town, yeah, that's really touristy, and it's got lots of hostels and stuff. But my school was just like, a 5-minute a 5-minute bike ride away from the center of town. So, and tourists don't really go there, so I could avoid the tourists, aka I could avoid speaking English, and I could just focus on my Spanish. So the location of the school was really good for me, what I wanted. And also the teachers were amazing. There were some teachers that, they were all really good teachers, but, a couple of them were really serious, and they were doing I think their masters or something in teaching Spanish in the capital city. So they had to travel to the capital city every so often. So they were like really serious about it. And so they were the best teachers ever. And also I hit the jackpot with my host family as well. I'm just so lucky that I got this host family, because, there were other students with other host families that they didn't enjoy as much as I did, because what happened with my place was that it was like basically a grandmother who owned the house, and her kids and their kids lived in the house as well. So there were some kids that were 4 years old, and then there were some kids that were 15 years old, and then there was their mother, so they were 40 years old, and then there were also people my age as well, in their 20s, in their mid-20s, and then there was always people visiting, so other cousins and aunties and uncles visiting all the time, so there was always people in the house. And basically my Spanish, how I could tell if I was getting better at Spanish, was my interaction with the host family. Because first, when I got there, I couldn't speak really at all. Like I could just say like the numbers and basic, greetings, and also basic verbs, but really basic. And I pretty much couldn't speak. And I first started off befriending the children, so the 4-year-old and the 9-year-old, and they were just amazing, and they would play with me, and we would just we would talk in Spanish, but they would laugh at me every second. But it was still really fun, and it was still really good practice, because as I was learning every single day, I was learning new things. I could put them into practice with them. And, it was good also, they kept me company, and I think from then, that's when I started really liking children, because they were just so cute and so nice and so lovely. So I first started off talking with them, which is when, I couldn't speak Spanish. And then when my Spanish, I could kind of have a semi-conversation, I started talking to the older ladies, so, the ones that were in their 40s, 50s, they had enough patience at that time to speak with a slow speaker, because I hadn't mastered it yet. And then finally, towards the end, I actually was able to hold a conversation with the kids that were my age. And that's when I was like, yes, I could go out to the bar with them, and with loud music on and people talking around, and still hold a conversation. And I was really proud of myself when that moment hit. So yeah, basically my day was that I started at 8 o'clock, had classes for 4 hours until 12, and it was one-on-one classes, and it was I can't speak highly enough of that experience. Like one-on-one classes for 4 hours, you can go at your own pace, you can ask questions, you have conversations with a native speaker for 4 hours, and you can go fast, you can go slow, you can just do whatever you want. You can play games if you want to, you can be serious if you want to. So I was pretty serious. I was just like, yep, let's get through this kind of thing. And you build really good relationships with the teachers as well. So I became really good friends with them. So that was 8 until 12. And then you went home for lunch, and it was like, yeah, pretty big lunch that they gave you. Yeah, really, really delicious, because at my house there was a cook. And so she was a really good cook, and she made sure that the lunch was ready on time, and yeah, like a big portion. And then the school picked us up in a ute in order to take us to the beach. And so we'd go to the beach, and then we'd go surfing. Sometimes the teachers, well, I think they were meant to come every time. The teachers came to the beach with us. So then if you didn't want to swim, you could practice your Spanish, having conversations with them. Also, the driver of the ute was, a local, a native. And so I would try and talk to him as well. He was in his 20s as well, so that was good to make another friend. So that was for about, 2 or 3 hours or so in the afternoon. And then I would get home and talk to the kids, talk to the family, or just study. And so I was just so motivated that I was just studying at night by myself in my room. My favorite way to study, like after doing the homework and everything, was pretty much write every single word, every single grammar point that I learned on a flashcard. And I would just go through them. And so, the first day I would start off with, say, 10 or 20. And then it went up to 50 every day, increased by 10. And then by the end I had like, I don't know how many flashcards, and, back to back because it's English on one side and Spanish on the other side. But then like 4 or 5 phrases on the one flashcard, because I was just getting too many. And it was incredible because I actually learnt everything on those flashcards. And yeah, so I was definitely improving because I had my mind, focused on that, and I was really determined. I didn't want to leave without having learnt and be able to speak Spanish. So I think the reason for my success is because I was able to take out 2 months, and yeah, I had 6 months off, so I was really lucky to have those holidays. But if you're really serious about learning a language, and if that's always been your dream, then what is 2 months taking time off in a year? It's not really that much. So, and as you can see, it was really cheap to do it, $200 a week. So take that time out of your life, out of your year, to just go to a country where that language is spoken, and just focus on that. Taking 2 months, being motivated, focused on that, especially because it's such a short time, you can be focused on it for that short period of time. If it was 6 months or a year or something, maybe you'd be like, oh yeah, I'll learn later. But if you focus on that for 2 months, then you will be more motivated and more dedicated. I think definitely another one of my successes is because I had one-on-one classes with the teacher, as I said before. I definitely avoided the other tourists, or I avoided speaking English. There were other English speakers, the students at the school, and yeah, we did hang out, but it's not like I avoided them completely or anything, but I definitely tried to spend more time with my host family, with the local friends that I'd made, and things like that. So I really avoided speaking English. Studying on my own at night in my room definitely helped, because just going to classes doesn't mean you're going to learn it. Like, you might learn it in the moment, but many research shows that obviously repetition is how it sticks in the brain. So you need to repeat that again and again, hopefully in the same day, and then it will stick quicker. And what I love about languages is because, learning a language, you have to speak with other people. So it's not like you're studying, maths or something, where you just focus on maths and everything else you do is not related. No, language is, you study on your own, you speak to other people by making friends and going out with them, and that is still technically study time or practice time. and reading books and everything like that is basically study time. So that's why I felt that 2 months was just the perfect way to learn a language. So I say I learned Spanish in 2 months, and yes, I feel that I learned Spanish in 2 months, but I'm not gonna say definitely that I learned it, 100% as a native level. It was definitely probably about, I'd say 70%, because I knew the words and expressions and things, but and I've seen it on TikTok before as well, but anything you learn to get to 70 to 80% doesn't actually take that much time. I think it's like 120 hours or 20 hours or something. Anyway, and then, but to get from 80% to 100%, it takes a lot of time. And so, I personally was happy to get to that 70%, and I don't really care if I get to 100, but that was my aim. If you're thinking of learning a language, if you're thinking of learning Spanish, I really recommend this method, and I really hope you give it a try if it's possible to take 2 months off work. And if you do want to go to Nicaragua, if you do want to go to the school that I mentioned, or stay with the host family, I'll definitely put the links down below. But the school, the name was Veronica's Spanish School, and the family was Castro. Familia Castro, or Guest House Castro is their link on Facebook. So I will link them down below. Get in contact with them. I really recommend them. If you do go there, say that Anna says hello, because I really miss them. Even though it was 2 months of my life, I feel that I got to know them really well, and I really miss them, and I think about them all the time, and I definitely want to go back, but it's very far away from Australia. and next I actually want to learn Portuguese, so I'm thinking of this year sometime going to Brazil and do exactly what I did, find a place, find a small town and go there and learn Spanish. That's my aim, but we'll see if that happens. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to subscribe, give a thumbs up, leave me a comment, any questions you have. If you want me to answer any of your questions in another video, I can do that as well. All right, and I'll see you next time. Thanks, bye.